G'day people. Today I'm trying something new. I've never tried this before, so it should be fun, eh? It's the great tasty Australian tasty cheese comparison. I'm going to look at them all, taste them all. I've been to all 4 Australian supermarkets: Coles, Woolworths, Aldi and IGA. Been to all those 4. Bought the tasty cheeses they've got on offer. Now there is one thing I've done, is that sometimes I've used ordinary tasty and sometimes it's vintage tasty. So they're not the same, obviously, but that's okay. I'll be factoring it in. Of course, for those who don't know, in Australia, when we say you buy something it's called tasty cheese, like most of these are called tasty cheese, but actually they're cheddar. In fact, they're all called tasty cheese, except for the Aldi one, which is just called cheese. But yeah, they're all cheddar. They're Australian cheddar. None of them are processed cheddar, I'm glad to say. Processed cheese, what an abomination that is. Yeah. So, let's have a look. I'll get the video working here. I'm going to have a close-up. So there we go. That's the Aldi one, West Acre Vintage Tasty. Then we have the Woolworths Australian Tasty. And we have the Coles Extra Tasty. In other words, vintage. So the vintage ones are slightly whiter in colour. Then we have the Community Extra Tasty. I think I got that one from Coles as well. Oh no, that's IGA, I think. Community Extra Tasty. Then we got Bega or Bega Farmers Tasty. And we've got Cheer. Bloody stupid name for a cheese. And it's sort of supposed to be what used to be Coon. But I don't think it's quite the same really. Then we've got Warrnambool Tasty, which I got from IGA. Warrnambool Tasty. Presumably it comes from the Allansford plant. Presume, but I'm not certain. So let's just see what's written on the packs. Aldi pack, made in Australia. Milk, salt, cultures, enzyme, non-animal rennet. So I don't know what the story is with the rennet, with the non-animal rennet. Have they managed to grow what is rennet? Rennet's an enzyme, it's not a bacteria. I don't know how they do the non-animal rennet. This one, the Woolworths pasteurised milk, salt starter culture, non-animal rennet. So yeah, same thing. The Coles milk, salt, mineral salt. Salt and mineral salt. What stupidity is that? Come on. All salt is mineral salt, surely. Cultures could be anything. Enzymes, vegetarian rennet. Vegetarian rennet. In other words, non-animal rennet. The Community Extra Tasty, salt, starter culture, enzyme, non-animal rennet. Bega or Bega if you want that. Milk, salt, cultures, enzyme, non-animal rennet. Cheer, pasteurised milk, starters, salt, enzymes, non-animal rennet. And you don't see much. Oh yeah, milk, salt, starter, rennet. Rennet doesn't say non-animal. So they're all basically the same thing, except the Warrnambool one doesn't say whether it's animal rennet or not. So, what do they taste like? Start with the Albi. It's not bad. I tend to buy this one because, I guess because it's cheap, because I go to Aldi because Aldi's cheap. It's not bad. It's a bit sort of a bit acid, but I guess you get that because it's the vintage or the extra tasty or vintage. Not bad. I used to buy the non-tasty, but it wasn't tasty enough, so I bought that. So now I buy that. Try the Woolworths. Yeah. Fair bit of acid there, as there was in that. No, but it's good. Good cheese. No problem eating that. The Coles. More buttery. Definitely. That is more buttery than that. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Good. Community. Extra tasty. Extra tasty? That is not extra tasty, that is less tasty. That doesn't taste like vintage at all. That tastes like your normal tasty, not extra tasty. So no, it's not extra tasty. Not very acid. This one's a bit odd. There's less acid. It doesn't taste like extra tasty. It tastes sort of like normal tasty. Anyway, Bago, which is probably the most popular name brand cheese in Australian supermarkets. Yeah. Tasty cheese. Tastes fine. Not overly acidic. Not as acidic as some of the others. Not as much flavour as some of the others. But it's fine. Now Coon used to be the greatest Australian cheese, the great Australian cheese. And since the lunatic, misinformed, wrong-headed woke lobby attacked the company that makes this stuff. God. It's now owned by Saputo Dairy. In other words, Tasty Dairy. It used to be owned by someone else. Oh, no. Oh, yuck. Oh. Oh, no. What have they put in that? Oh. That's truly disgusting. That is truly disgusting. What have they done to it? What have they put in that? That's got something really horrible in it. It knocks you out. It knocks you straight away. This horrible chemical. It's disgusting. I can't bear to eat it. I've got to find out. Ah. No, no. What have you done? You idiots. Saputo Dairy. That is absolutely disgusting. It is far and away, you know, by a vast margin, worse than all the rest. It's absolute garbage. Unbelievable. There's something really, really horrible in it. Like, that doesn't belong there, that should never be in a cheese. What have they done? Someone shit in it? You know, it's that bad. And then we've got the Warrnambool Tasty. Whoop. Whoop. So look, this is a 500 gram block. No, it's a 400 gram block. It's probably worth $8 or something. So bad I can't eat it. I'm not going to eat rubbish like that. That's an absolute disgrace. I'm not even going to test it like I was. Disgusting. I've got to rinse my mouth out with a tea. $8 wasted. Whoever thinks that is acceptable cheese can go to hell. And the people who pretend that used to be what used to be Coon, go to hell. Coon was the best of the lot. Cheer wouldn't feed it to your dog. Belongs in the bin with Ardmona tomatoes. It's an absolute disgrace. Cheer. What are you thinking, Saputo Dairies? What did you put in it? It's just horrific. Anyway, try again with the Warrnambool. Well, recognisable Australian cheddar cheese. Bit acidic, got that cheddar flavour. Yeah, it's fine. Now I've got to say, all of these are fine. They're all fine. And honestly, the difference between them isn't great. They all taste vaguely similar. I think, what was it? The Coles was creamy. I think that was creamy. Baker's good. Yeah, it's a little bit acidic, but not too much. It's got the cheddar flavour. Honestly, the difference between these two is not great. I think Baker's a bit. There's a faint hint of something in the Warrnambool one. It's a faint hint of something that isn't great. Isn't really nice. I mean, it's okay. It's fine. The Warrnambool cheese is fine, but I think the Baker's a little bit better. This Community Tasty. Mild acidity. It's probably, especially considering it pretends, it tastes peppery. This one tastes peppery. I don't think cheese should taste peppery unless I put pepper in it. There's a little bit of peppery note in there. I don't know how you get pepper out of a cheese without putting pepper in it. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that one. If you want a sharp cheddar with butter, a sharp buttery cheddar, that's your man. If that's what you want. Almost tastes like, it's similar to the Mersey Valley Pretend Wensleydale. It's almost like that. It's like almost that kind of creaminess, which is not really traditional cheddar, not what you expect from an Australian tasty. Like, it's still tasty, it's good. Like, it's not a bad cheese at all. It's a good cheese, but I don't know that it's quite different to the others, or it's a bit different to the others. It's noticeably different to the others. It's like the Mersey Valley. Not as much, not as far as in that direction as the Mersey Valley, but it's like it. But you know, if that's what you want, go for that. Sharp and buttery. Now that Woolworths, it's okay. It's missing the central focal, missing the focal point. The focal point isn't there with this, but it's okay. It's not too acidic, fairly mild acid, but the focal point, that rich thing that is cheddar, especially Australian cheddar, it's not strong there. It's not strong. The Aldi's got this note to it that's it's a bit sour. A little bit sour, the Aldi. A little bit sour. I think the Bega is the winner. It's got that central focus. It's acidic but not too acidic. It's got that central focus. It tastes like Australian cheddar. It's what you expect from an Australian cheddar. It's similar to what Coon used to be. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar. And that central flavour of whatever it is that is cheddar, Australian cheddar, is very good in this, very strong in that. The Woolworths, it's fine. It's got the right amount of acidity. It's got all the basis of the flavour. It's just missing that that central core that the Bega's got. Community extra tasty, no. Not my favourite. The Wannable's good. I got a faint taste of something before that I didn't really like. It was a very faint taste though, but I'm not getting it now. And it's good. Slightly more buttery than the Bega, but they're actually quite similar. It's funny tasting cheese. You eat one cheese and then it affects the taste of the next one. And I'm sure drinking tea has some kind of effect too. Especially when you're looking for really fine differences. Like there's really definite differences, but some of the differences are very subtle. And I've got to say, all of these cheeses, they're all, you know, Australian tasty. They're all kind of similar really. But there's small differences between them. This one's a bit kind of sour. It's not. That's a bit of a off-putting thing, the sourness. I mean, it's fine. I've been eating it for years, but it's a little bit sour. So if you want to eat, especially if I use it for cooking. But if you want to eat the cheddar just on its own as a cheese, probably wouldn't pick that one. I mean, you could use any of these, but yeah. I think the Bega is the winner. This one is a winner if you want the Mersey Valley style. If you want you want the sharp, acidic, but buttery, that's your style, if that's what you want. This is the least like cheddar, least like typical Australian tasty. This is the least like it. This one's a bit bland. It's good, but it's a bit bland. This one's a bit sour. This one's a bit, what did I say about this? It's not tasty. It's okay, but there's a note in there I don't really like. And it said extra tasty, but that's not vintage. So there you go. This is the winner. If this is the best example of Australian tasty. The Warrnambool's very good as well. So I guess these two are the best. This one's in a special class because it's not like the others. Well, it is. It's like them, but not really like them. The others are very similar. Really, they're all very similar. This one's a bit mild, a bit too mild. This one is a little bit too sour. So and there you go. That's and don't ever buy Cheer. What a disgusting disaster. What an absolutely disgusting thing. There you go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try them. I'm going to try melting them. But I'll be back when I'm ready to go. Alright, let's try melting it. So I'm going to do them in order. So that's the Aldi. Oh, we don't want them to be too fat. Don't want them too fat. So the Aldi, the Woolworths, the Coles, in that order. And the Community, the Bega, and the Warrnambool. Alright, that's the 6 of them. So I'll just put them in the griller in the same orientation so we'll know which one's which. Into the griller they go. I'll let them melt and I'll come back. I do want to say that the Woolworths is pretty good. I think I'd rate the Woolworths over the Aldi. Yes, now that I taste them in side by side, there's a very slight taste about the Aldi that I don't like. Harshness to it. It's very slight. Yeah, I think I prefer the Woolworths. Actually, that harshness is like a very, 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 very mild version of what made the Cheer so horrible. It had this really, really strong harshness. It's so strong it'd knock you down. I don't understand how he could possibly have got past quality control. Cheese isn't meant to be like that. Okay, let's pull the melted cheese out and see what we've got. Should be interesting. Keep it in the same orientation as it came from, so we know what we're doing. Let's have a look. I can tell already that it didn't all melt exactly the same. I mean, they're pretty similar, but they're not exact. Okay, so this is on the right, the Aldi, in the middle the Woolworths, and on the left, Coles Extra Tasty. And you can see that there's something different about the Coles from the way that it's melted, the colour it has. This one on the right, the Community Extra Tasty, in the middle the Bega, and on the left is the Warrnambool. them into fingers so that we don't confuse one cheese with the next. They're all melted, but you can see that the community one didn't melt quite as well as the rest. The Warrnambool one has a slightly different colour to it. I don't know why. Fine. I mean, really, for most people, all of these cheeses would be fine. It's just if you're really picky, if you really analyse them down, you can tell the differences. Right, the Bega, which was my pick of the cheeses. Yeah, fine. So far they all taste like melted cheese. That community tasty hasn't got as much flavour. It didn't melt quite as well, and I mean it did melt, it melted fine, but not quite the same flavour as the Bega, not quite as much flavour as either of those two. I mean, like I said before, this one's a bit different. The Coles extra tasty, it's a bit different. And if you like that difference, then it's your man. I mean, that's good, that's good. Tastes like run-of-the-mill melted tasty cheese. It's fine. Mild flavour. For an extra tasty, it doesn't have as much flavour. The Aldi doesn't have as much flavour when it's melted as I would have expected. Would have expected a bit more flavour. There was quite a bit of flavour in these two had quite a bit of flavour. No, something about that I don't like. Go back to the Bega again. Bega is what you expect. It's what you expect from an Australian tasty. It doesn't have any bad flavours. There's no wrong notes. The flavour's good and solid. It's not ridiculously strong or flavour or anything, but it's what you expect from an Australian tasty. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the Bega. It's good. go. The community cheese is fine. Mild flavour. I mean, for something that calls itself extra tasty, as I said before, it's not extra tasty. They need to change the label. It's fine. This one has the most flavour of the lot, toasted. It really does. If you want a strong flavoured toasting cheese, get that. It's good. I like it. You can see from the colour, there's something about it. It's not the same as the others. And the standard Woolies. It's fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a bit mild. But it's totally fine. If I could say, these two are the two that are true Australian tasties that have nothing wrong with them. There's no false notes with these two. Now, this one's mild compared to that. It's got a bit more flavour than that. Woolworths flavours a little. It's fine. It's fine, but the flavour's a bit mild. The Baker's got a little bit more flavour. Noticeably, just a bit more. It's not a huge difference, really, honestly. And the Aldi, it's fine. It's fine. I've been eating it for years. It's not the best in this bunch, but it's fine, you know. There's a very, very faint hint of harshness in there, but honestly, it's so faint you won't notice unless you're really looking for it. It's fine. All of these are pretty much fine. To tell you the truth, there's something about this I'm not really keen on. Don't really like. The Warrnambool, some parts of the flavour profile are really good, but there's just a hint of something that isn't quite, that I don't really like. So I don't really go for that. That's the best one. These two are the true representations of Australian tasty. This is the better one. This is the milder one. You know, they're fine. They're both good. This one is the best if you want that flavour. It's got a unique. It's not quite your typical Australian tasty. It's a bit different, but if you like the difference, this is your man. This is fine. It's okay, but it's not the best one. Yeah. This one's really interesting. If you like it. Just a bit quirky. And very good toasted. Like, when you're toasting, this has got the most flavour. The others are pretty similar in terms of flavour strength. This one's definitely stronger. So, there you go. So you want a typical Australian tasty, and you don't mind paying, get the Baker. If you want a typical Australian tasty and you do mind paying, get the Woolworths. If you want a non-typical Australian tasty that's got a bit of a quirky character and buttery and strong flavour and a bit like Mersey Valley, get the Coles. The others, you can please yourself. There it is. That's my analysis of basically nearly all the Australian tasty cheeses. So there you go. Now you know, now I know. So I'm going to probably buy I'm going to probably buy that or that from now on.